What's going on, guys? My name is Mr. Sutton, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be the one teaching you today about reviewing adding decimals. So first things first, we're going to do a quick review conceptually of some of the language and basic understanding that we need to solve these problems. So first things first, 4.2, sorry if my handwriting is really bad. I'm writing with my mouse, plus 3.6. So the first thing that you want to do when you're setting up your equation for adding decimals is you want to make sure that your decimal points are lined up with one another. I always think of them like a pair of eyeballs, and then sometimes I like to draw a little smiley face to help me remember. But you always want to make sure that they're lined up. And then I always like labeling what my place value is. So over here, the 2 and the 6 are my tenths place, and over here, my 4 and my 3 are in the ones place. And I might even draw a little line to separate them just so I know that they're different. And next you would go through and you would add top to bottom just like you would any other addition problem. So 2 plus 6 would give us 8, and 4 plus 3 would give us 7. So a common mistake that I noticed a lot of my students making was they would go through all this effort, they would label it really beautifully, and then they would write their final answer was 78. And I would get so sad because I'd say you did everything right. You just missed the one most important step when you're adding decimals, and that's to make sure that you're bringing down your decimal point. Because if you think about it, if we're just adding this 4 and this 3 alone, we wouldn't get anywhere close to 70. So always make sure that we're adding in that place value to get our final answer of 7 8/10. So let's try another problem. Let's do 12 97/100 plus 9/8. So if I'm adding 9/8 to this, like I said in the last one, I want to make sure that my decimal point is lined up. I want to be able to create that smiley face within my math problem. So I'd want to match my ones place up with my ones place, making sure I have them separate, right? So my ones place lines up with my ones place, and then my 8 lines up in my tens place, although he's kind of trying to sneak over into the hundreds place, but that's just because my handwriting is really bad. So now again, we can just go through and add, but then you're going to say, wait, Mr. Sutton, you can't add 7 to nothing. That doesn't make any sense. So all you have to do when you see a problem like this, if you're adding 700 plus nothing, you're adding it with 0 100s. So 7 plus nothing, or 7 plus 0 100s, would just give us, let me change the color, would just give us 7. And then we go over and do the same thing. 9 plus 8 tenths would give us 17 tenths. And then we could carry our 1 again. Because we can't write 17 down here, we got to move the 1 over, right? 1 plus 9 gives me 10, plus 2 gives me 12 ones, so I have to carry that over. 1 plus 1 gives me 2, and we are all done. I know, just kidding. I'm sure you were screaming at your computer screens at Mr. Sutton in anger because I didn't carry down the decimal point. Please, 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 please remember, if you remember anything from Mr. Sutton, remember that you always have to carry down that decimal point. And our final answer is 22 77/100. So I'm going to give you guys a bunch of problems to practice. I hope this helped. I know it's kind of a weird format. So here are 5 problems that you can go through and solve on your own just to practice. We have 7 9/10 plus 12, 0 and 1 100th plus 4 and 60 100ths, 32 1/10 plus 9 and 9/10, and 77 32 100ths plus 15.8. And if you guys like a good challenge problem, like I know the students in my class did, you can attempt this problem down here. I'd be really impressed if you got it right. It's 14 921 1,000ths plus 1,782 9/10. Good luck, and I hope this helped you guys remember.